amazing transformation and Meatless Monday. I am so super excited. As you know, we have a very, very special guests here. Guest plural. I'm excited. I have two guests with us, and of course, we have our co-host Dawn from J&J Video Reacts. Welcome.
Hello, how art thou?
We got to
Hope
talking.
everybody's doing
Sorry,
well.
guys. They're so interesting. I was like, wait, we need to go live. We started talking about everything in the world, and like all of a sudden we were like, wait, we need to go live because all these beautiful people are waiting to come in. So welcome everyone to the live stream. I have Kathy, Hester, and Cheryl here with me. I'm always watching them in their kitchen, and so Cheryl and Kathy, so I know you do a YouTube cooking show. You are a blogger. You're an educator. I mean, you just do so much. How did you how did you guys come across this? Like, how did you get started in this plant-based vegan world and become this excellent chef?
That's a lot. First off, thank you. And thanks everybody for hanging out with us tonight. It makes me so happy. It really does. I'm feeling a little of the, what is it? Seasonal affective disorder. So you guys inviting me and hanging out with me and the people hanging out in the audience, just much, much love. So I became vegetarian in 1983, back when you could not buy tofu at the grocery store. And like, it was all underground and cool. It's the only time I was super cool, y'all. So you'd like go to somebody's house and they'd like take you into the room and there's like the natural food store where you could get like the shampoo that doesn't make your hair fall out and stuff like that.
Right.
And that's how you got cooked. Like there was a period of time I had all the vegetarian cookbooks, right? Because there were like 5 of them. And now you can't even keep them on your hard drive. So I'd always, and I became vegetarian really for the animals at that point. Because in 1983, vegan was not something that was being bandied around. And it was hard to eat out as a vegetarian. Then as some other things happened, I got a job where it was very cushy and I had an office. I was a web developer and I was really, really bored, like really, really bored. So like I had been doing some database queries and stuff like that. And so here I literally copied and pasted in multiple different languages. Mm-hmm. So that was really boring. And so I started a blog.
Yep. The blog started in 2009,
I think.
Yeah.
I was going to write a vegan slow cooker cookbook because I had started a different blog before Healthy Slow Cooking. And everybody kept asking me to veganize the recipes. I'm like, sure, I can do that. And if someone came over to my house with an allergy or something like that, I would always kind of, get that all together. So I started the blog and like 2 months later,
two or 3 months.
2 or 3 months later, someone contacted me about doing a vegan slow cooker cookbook. And honestly,
we thought it was a scam.
We totally thought it was a scam. I'm like, yeah, right. Let me see if I, and so and then it was real. And then I wrote this cookbook and it did pretty well. And then because I think now I have 9 or 10 traditionally published cookbooks. Like I have 2 that are self-published. So I started doing one every year. And then I built up my audience from there. So I've done everything backwards.
Yeah. And she swore she was never going to do video. I mean, she came into video kicking and screaming. And I think, wasn't it, we got a sponsored post. And they were like, hey, could you do a Facebook Live on that too? And she was like, sure.
Right.
Yeah, I think it It was Idaho potato people.
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh, I'll start thinking about. So I'll pitch it out."
Because you're so good. You guys are so good on camera and so engaging that you didn't even want, you weren't even thinking of doing that at first. That is really cool.
Yes.
Well, and I think the thing is, and I want to put this out to everybody. So if you're just like, love to share your knowledge or anything like that, unless you're a certain type of person, which I was not, it's not fun to go live at first. It's not fun. And you notice every little thing. Like even now, like I could seriously, if I stop looking at the camera and look at me, I'll be like, ooh, what's that? What's that piece of thing? And it's stupid, but it's where the human brain goes, I think. At least my human brain goes there.
I do too. I zoom in on that like, oh my goodness, was that the pimple on my head showing up? You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, I don't think anybody's zooming in on my face like that to examine it.
No. Well, and here's the thing. I think people care
real
less.
big fans, then I might be getting bigger than I thought, right? If they care that much.
Well, and I think the thing is people really just want to like you and listen to you.
Yeah.
And so you can still go see from the beginning where I sucked at the first video all the way up to me doing better now. And now like we have the kitchen set up. So I flip a switch, all the lights turn on, we turn on the individual cameras, and we have a really good setup because of Cheryl and Doc Rock, my man. And some of you guys know him because he hung out in the last live we did. But
I missed that one. I gotta go back and check that
Look
out.
at how many people you have down here, Jen. I'm stoked. That is awesome. Did you guys bring all your friends or
I
something?
think they did. Well, Muriel is from Veganowledge Group. Thank you for joining. And then we've got Jill. Is it Caperton? I know that's probably someone that maybe that's a fan here of yours that came or is here because of you. Barbara Berkman, welcome. Apple a Day. I know that name. Hey, how are you? I've got is it Keita Brooks? Welcome. Christine
see if I can
Elizabeth.
squish this a little bit.
Oh wow, we do have a lot of people. Welcome everyone. I wish I could read every single person's name. Debbie, Daria. I gotta read faster, like that guy at the end of the commercials.
Oh gosh.
Battery guy, the batteries not included guy. Marakita, welcome, and Joanne, thank you guys so much for coming. I will get to some more of your names shortly. I really appreciate you all being here with us, and I know Kathy and Cheryl appreciate the support and everything too.
Yeah.
Always. And I don't know if you know Angela already, Boomer and Beyond Wellness.
That is actually who referred me to you. Angela,
All right.
you're here. Thank you.
She's magical.
You need to check out these ladies. She's one of our favorite guests. She comes on and gets me motivated to work out, and then I do it for a week, and then I got to get her to remotivate me again because I got videos, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. She's got done some knee stretches that have fixed her injury. I'm like, she is amazing. I love Angela. Check out Boomer and Beyond Wellness, definitely. Thank you.
For sure.
Yeah.
But then I guess around writing that first book, I became vegan. So I leaned vegan already, but I wasn't 100% vegan.
Yeah.
And then Cheryl's you went vegan in 2018 or 2019?
2019.
So it's not been that long.
That's what I was thinking. And
yeah,
Dawn, you followed not
2020.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. 1 year right
I
behind
made a
Jen.
good example and never pushed. See?
There
Yep.
you go.
Well, you can push anyhow if you want to, and nothing will happen for most people.
Yeah.
And we do talk
My
about
own
that.
little slick ways, right? Like our own little did you see this video, by the way?
Yeah. Well, I think we've been together
a really long time.
Yeah.
like 17
years,
18
maybe.
years.
Wow. Jen and I actually have been together 15, and we just celebrated our
5-year.
5-year wedding.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
Congratulations to you guys.
What are we?
This is our next year
Is this 9th?
No, this is our 10th
You
anniversary.
see how long they've been together? They don't even know how many. They don't even count, right? That's
I'm
a good relationship.
I'm the one that forgets. So I'm the one that's like, because we went to Disney last year, and I was like trying to see if I could get us an upgrade. So I'm like, it's our anniversary, and they're like, oh, what anniversary? And I think I said 8.
No, you said 9.
Whatever it was, I walked in. She's like, that's not how long we've been married.
I said it was 10.
But I was right.
You were right.
Because
it's 10 this year.
Luck.
Like, you three got to know each other, you know, like
10 at the end of this month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it was
congratulations.
Right after Thanksgiving.
When was ours, Jen? November 11th. November 10th. We literally just had it this past weekend.
Oh, that's awesome. So that's not too far.
Ours is the 23rd.
Because we got married before it was legal in across the country. So we went to DC. There was a little cottage industry and everything. So there was a lady who did all the stuff for us. It was great.
It just pays her some money, and she took care of everything. And we just showed up with our friends and had a weekend.
Yeah.
So it was nice.
Really cool.
Sweet.
I was like, thinking we
did ours on the beach down here in OC. We have been talking about it for a while, and I proposed on social media in 2000. What was that? 2016 actually. Yeah, because we got married in 2018. So it was like
2 more years.
Sometimes you got to wait for the finances to be what you want to have it to be right. We wanted to do it on the beach. You know, it's like you can't live at the beach and not have a beach wedding. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we kind of had to hurry and rush, and we didn't
so I can quit that boring job. We were like, let's get this done. So I can quit my job.
Right?
So yeah, it was probably not what we had expected.
Well, people are trying to be so supportive. So here's the thing. So when you hear that, you're thinking, oh, that maybe people weren't so supportive. No.
Yeah.
They were too supportive.
Because we were like, okay, we got this tiny little venue, and they're like, I think at first they were like, you could have up to 8 or 10 people.
But we were like, well, it's just going to be us and maybe 2 people to be our witnesses.
We're good. But no, everybody was,
but everybody was like, I want to go.
In DC. Okay, we'll drive and meet you there. What are the dates? And I'm like,
and I'm like,
because y'all are going to be buying your own dinner.
Yeah, because I was like, y'all,
like, you get a piece of cake. That's it.
I was like, we'll buy a cake, but y'all, we don't have any money to feed you or put
we're
you in a
doing the whole
anywhere.
dinner reception thing. I mean, I did pick a place because we had a variety of people, but they had lots of vegan stuff, but a barbecue place that had vegan and non-vegan stuff. Mm-hmm. So I did not want to have to deal with anybody.
And then we got a vegan cake.
And so that way everybody could have what they want. And if anybody was getting off course, I'd be like, you just go get yourself another shot of bourbon or something. Don't talk to me.
But it turned out
it wasn't a big part. It sounds like it was like, woo! There was probably like out of all of us, there were maybe 2 shots of bourbon.
So we ended up having like 16 people came with us.
It was literally standing room only in this room.
But it was awesome, and it really turned out to be really, really good.
That's how you know you're loved.
Yep.
What? And people I'm like, you want to pay me and drive that far? Because it's not super close.
I was like, I wouldn't be going if it was me.
I'm not going to
your wedding somewhere out of town.
Dawn, do you have a way to stop the lights? I don't know if these are new comments. Let me see. Yeah, I think they are. There's 2 people that's hurting their
Oh yeah. Okay.
Eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, I can get them. Hold on. Yep.
If you ladies are still here, thank you so much. Sorry about that. We have to end the disco for a moment. I know sometimes with certain medical conditions, it's hard to watch the strobing lights. So let's see. All right, sorry about that. And so we've got, this was a year before we went vegan, so I didn't have to worry about the vegan menu. I didn't know about it. Like I'm like a totally different person from that time. It's like when you look back, you realize before vegan, I always call it like BV, like instead of BC, you know how they say that?
Yeah.
Right? But wow, that's such an interesting story, and we even got to hear the wedding story. So
We're cooking with grease.
yes, we are. Or
You're
not
sauteing with
healthy
water.
grease.
depending how healthy we want to
Sauteing
be.
with water.
Cattle oil. Right.
Oh, thank you, S.
A little
I love
aquafaba.
wins.
Sauteing with water. I love it.
Oh man, that's great. So we were where were we? I forgot. We were on all kinds of tangents.
We're all over the
I
place,
wanted
but
to
I
have
don't
you
think
guys
anybody
on.
cares.
When I watch you guys, I'm always like, I wish I could have a conversation with them directly. They seem like really such lovely people to talk to, and I'm like, I bet we would never be able to stop talking. I'm like, I'm gonna have to make sure I watch the time so I don't keep you ladies all night, right? Okay, so I know I'll let you get back to your journey.
Oh, you want, okay. You can ask anything you want to ask too.
Yeah.
So like,
Okay.
but pretty much I did the book and it was fairly successful. So like typically, at least in that time, a successful book was considered if you sold more than 5,000 copies. And I think by now, over the years, it's sold over 50,000 copies.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow, good job.
yeah, it was the right book at the right time.
Yeah.
That is so cool. I really I'm like, and so like, what was that like? How long did it take you to write that book? Like the first
Have
book?
long. I didn't have
You
long.
had to crank that one out in what, 4 months or something like
Yeah,
that,
and
or
there
3
was-
months.
There was some crying involved and stuff because I had only been doing blog for 2 months. So I got a book on writing recipes and how to do that. And I had to do 150 recipes in less than 4 months.
And we didn't live in
a
this
full-time job. And it was in the slow cooker.
Oh, wow.
And we didn't live in this house.
We lived in a much smaller, well, half the size.
Half the size of this house. And we both were working full-time jobs, and she would put stuff in the slow cookers in the morning, and then we would come home after work, and then we would taste test everything and see if it needed to be redone again or if it was okay and stuff like that. But we would usually eat whatever it was, even if it wasn't like perfect.
Except for that one
day when she combined too many smells.
Don't do it.
And there was Indian, Mexican,
Italian,
yeah,
and something else.
And it was all slow cooking at the same time. And when we walked in the door,
opened up the door, it just smelled like garbage. And so we put everything away and we were able to eat everything. It's just, that's too many smells in a tiny house.
Too many smells. I love it.
So we had to walk away. We actually had slow cookers going in every room of the house at one point.
Yeah. And everyone's like, where do you keep those? I'm like, on the sun porch. Like normal people keep 12 slow cookers if they live in a 1,100 square foot house.
And I think it's such a beautiful thing to share with people because, like, I mean, there's so many, especially nowadays, you know, everybody's working, everybody's busy. And like, no, you know, you want like a good meal like that, and they can be both. So the fact that like, and I always, whenever I would make it, I would throw the same like 5 things in there. I had no variety or anything. So like having recipes for the slow cooker, it's like that was very innovative, and that's really cool. The website, even like, I know you know, we need to probably do that more often because I'm so tired by the time I get done work, and then I'll have, you know, either a guest like interview or live stream, or I'm working on something, I'm trying to do a website, and all of a sudden and when she gets done her day from like 4 a.m. all the way until, you know, 8, I'm like, it would be nice to have that, you know, that meal already. I'm like, I joke with people, that's why I'm raw all the time, because I don't have to.
Well, when I started doing Instant Pot stuff, people were like, well, do you still use your slow cooker? I'm like, yeah, I use it all. But I think like the reason I like slow cookers and Instant Pots, and obviously I love all kitchen gadgets a lot. And just because I have 80,000 kitchen gadgets doesn't mean I think you should have 80,000 kitchen gadgets. But like if you've got if you have no time for anything but your coffee and get in your car in the morning, slow cooking can be a little harder. Either you got to prep all that in the night before, and like in my cookbooks, I'd say what you do the night before: cut up the stuff, put it in the fridge, dump it in the slow cooker, go on your merry way. I cannot be trusted with a knife when I first wake up. Mm-hmm. So no cutting onions in the morning for me, because I've caught myself cutting myself doing stuff that I would have yelled at Cheryl if she was doing, because it's like, it's morning. I'm like, oh, sure, let's cut up this way or something. I don't know. And so the slow cooker is nice if you have just a little bit of time in the morning. You don't need all the time in the world. But then you come home and you're just wasted, exhausted, depleted. Then all you have to do is taste and reseason. So the slow cooker is golden for that person. The Instant Pot is golden for you. You can barely speak your name in the morning. You just get in your car and magically make it to work. But when you come home, you got 15, 20 good minutes in you left, right? Throw everything in your Instant Pot, take a nap, go for a walk, do your one chore, whatever. What I like about both of them is both of them are most of the time is hands off compared to coming home, cutting everything up, putting things in the stove, waiting for this. You just don't get that extra time. And there are ways to do that too. So, but if you find that it's really difficult to get things done, I work from home now. And if I know it's going to be a really tough day, I try to get everything in the slow cooker. Mm-hmm. Right? Because then by the time I'm like, oh, I'm hungry and I don't feel good, and now I'm cranky.
Right.
And cranky people don't need to be cooking. They need to be eating. Right?
I'm always really, really like
angry,
bubbly mode, and then when that tiredness comes on, though, it starts to get in there if something doesn't go right, you know.
It's away at your sanity.
we had like a situation. We tried to order some miso soup, and it just didn't ever arrive, and we were getting really cranky with that.
No, I couldn't wait to get back to the group and say, guess what just happened? Everybody was like, what? We ordered miso soup last night. 2 small miso soups. Pretty simple, right? Not even. Okay. It arrived 4:00 this afternoon.
The next day.
What?
That's crazy.
At 7:30 yesterday evening. And it arrived 4:00 today.
So this is why we need your channel, so we don't have to do this anymore. We know how to
that
cook
just happened. And needless to say, we threw it away. I mean, stapled or not, there's no way we're going to be eating something that was out and about God knows where for 24 hours. Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
We don't know what you did to that stuff, man.
Kitchen gadgets. I was like, I ran in and told Dawn, did you know that little thing was for removing the eyes on the, when I was watching your live?
Oh, like with a potato peeler? Yeah, the little eye remover. Nobody knows that, but I worked with the Idaho potato people, so I got like in the know.
You got
insider info.
Absolutely.
I don't know why they don't just, talk about that more. Because I didn't know either until she had me peeling potatoes, and she was like, that's what this is for. And I was like, what?
Who knew?
Yeah.
It's all these little things. But see, the thing is the first time I heard about it, I was the same way. Like, whoa, who knew? Blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But there's so many different little things. It's kind of cool to get to know and learn things as you go, because you just can't ever know everything.
Yeah. Would we even want to?
No. I wouldn't. She probably
would
like
to know. What is
everything?
I'm that person that
I want to know even more about this Instant Pot thing too when you're done.
But it's just like I used to always want to understand why people did things too. I think now it would drive me insane. Yeah. However, I do have this innate curiosity about things, and
which is good.
Yeah, it's usually good. Sometimes, there's like hobby piles, right?
Hobby piles.
Oh, that's funny. That's
I have project piles.
Oh, and if you don't mind, let me address, I think it's SFOS was saying, I'm not sure I'd trust leaving an appliance on all day if I wasn't there to check on it from time to time. So let's talk about that, because that's really important. And I also talk about getting things like slow cookers, Instant Pots, some things from the thrift store too. If it's new or it's from the thrift store, even from your grandma or your best friend, I want you to stay at home with it the first time it cooks. Okay. You can be in a different room. So like our upstairs is open, so I could have it going. I could watch some TV, wander back, make sure everything's okay. Because even if it's brand new, what did the UPS do to that box? Right? Some circuits could have been wrong. Something could have not gone wrong right at the factory. So you want to at least have it go through a whole cycle with you there. So in case wiring is wrong, something were to go wrong. And in general, I feel comfortable after that. So I've not had any issues. And so what was that? I guess it's been
14 years.
How is that even possible? It's been 14 years. And like I had my mom's like original crock pot for decades too.
Oh, wow.
The one you can't take out of the metal. Like avoid that one if you can at the thrift store. It's just a lot of effort. Just spend that $10. You'll appreciate it later on. But that's what I would do. And I agree. There's never a time that I have an appliance I just bought or got at the thrift store or borrowed from a friend that I haven't tried out start to finish. Yeah. But they're made to, at their best, they're made to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So like, but as long as it's like safe and like you know where it was bought from and you see that it is okay, like to leave it. Like, I mean, I'm at home all the time, so usually working from home, so it doesn't matter. But I guess it's the risk, like you said. But I know a lot of people do throw those on in the morning, and I guess it's a personal thing whether it's nice to be at home with it too and smell it, all day cooking too.
It's super nice and it's made for that. But again, just don't make the assumption that everything is safe. Just like kind of like that miso soup. You don't know if it was just dished out right then or if it was dished out 24 hours ago. Right. So you're erring on the side of caution. Mm-hmm. And that's what I recommend. But I've been all through grad school. I cooked in the slow cooker in my apartment while I was gone to classes and working. I've done that through several jobs. Mm-hmm. And I've probably done it in 18 or more slow cookers. So it's a tiny, tiny amount compared to all of them in the world, but I've not ever had any issues yet at this point. But I do also, that's a non-negotiable, cooking the first time with you at home.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense because usually if something is really, what is that called? Like a recall worthy, it's going to happen when you first plug it in, probably, right? Like,
and or even if something was getting ready to go wrong with your electricity.
You're right. I mean, and there's a lot of factors when it comes to plugging things. How old is the house? How the electric and things. So I guess it's just a risk. But like you said, a lot of people do use it for that purpose because it's very, handy to do that. And that's what I was going to say. So does Instapot cook really fast? And is that the point of the Instapot, or is it just another variation of a slow cooker in a sense? Like, I guess I'm confused on which is which. As you can see, my cooking ability over here, right? As I'm asking these questions, these aren't even like interviewer questions that the audience might want to know. I really don't know.
It's all good. So a slow cooker is generally a piece of pottery that sits in a metal base that cooks slower. I know we have them somewhere, but they're not right here. An Instant Pot is a pressure cooker. And so it has to have some fancier things. And actually, we've got one right here. So I'll move my beans. I have everything shoved off camera, y'all. But like the lid, you can even see the lid has this seal, and it seals the pressure completely. And so what happens then is that pressure on the food actually cooks it faster. So let's say steel cut oats, I'm going to cook overnight in my slow cooker. I'm going to cook them for 3 to 5 minutes in the Instant Pot. Now, the thing that people don't always tell you that you need to know is that it takes it time to come up to pressure and time to come down from pressure. So those 3 minutes are right here. So it could take 15, 20 minutes when it's all said and done. Oh, cool. You brought my cute one. I'll match with my sweater. You can't get this one anymore. So this is like the basic slow cooker. So there's your little crock that comes out.
Oh, that's cute.
It's just a little, basically, hot pot kind of thing. And then there's, on this one, there's just low and high.
So that's what we have. We have one of those. I definitely need to look into that Instant Pot, though.
And there'll be a bunch of sales coming up. You can sit down.
Can we get these like through your links, or?
Sometimes I will put some things up. I do have an Amazon store, so if somebody wants to, if you see something, you can't get that out, so don't even ask me. You can't get it, and do not spend $100 on it on Amazon. It's just a cheap slow cooker. I got it the season that had the super cute decals.
I'll never spend that much on one. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, and then I have some others that were favorites too that like do 2, 4, and 6 quarts, and they keep discontinuing those. But like the Instant Pot has a slow cooker set, so it has all these buttons, right? So you have pressure cooking buttons, saute buttons, so you can saute right in there.
Oh, that's
you can slow cook some things. You can't slow cook all the same things. There's a place where Instant Pot and slow cooker divide, but you can make dry beans in your slow cooker. You can make dried beans on the Instant Pot pressure cooker setting. Just don't make dried beans on the slow cooker setting in your Instant Pot.
That's interesting, because I had a question from someone on my group last week saying, are the cooked, are canned beans okay, or is it healthier, to eat the other beans? And she's like, we're retired and we don't like to cook a lot, spend a lot of time cooking. So I'm like, so the beans, that might be an interesting thing. Like you could cook like, I guess like the beans out of the bag, the hard beans.
Yeah, dry beans. Yeah. And typically most people, it kind of depends on you. Steve Sando from Rancho Gordo doesn't soak his beans. He talks about some of the people he knows in Mexico where these beans are grown aren't soaking the beans there, and they're more flavorful. However, if you have digestive issues, in other words, if they give you a lot of gas, soaking them and then discarding the soaking water is really great. It also cuts the cooking time in about half.
Okay.
Right? So that's something to know. So I have 2 Instant Pot cookbooks, and I have a list of like, if your beans are soaked, if your beans are not soaked, because it changes the time so much.
Okay.
I'm from the South, so I grew up in North Carolina, and I have Southern pinto bean recipe, which is like creamy pintos. The closest thing would be like New Orleans red beans, right? And so I don't worry so much if they're not perfect like when you get them in the can, but you can do it either way. And I know some people are going to have all the feels about all the things. So I think if you're not worrying about things like having things in cans, or if there's BPA or different things, then as far as nutritional value, the beans in the cans are great. If you're having some other issues and you're trying to get toxins out of your life, then you may choose not to. I will tell you right now, we do both.
Yeah, I do. I have gotten the organic, like the garbanzo, chickpeas in the can. Definitely.
Sound.
Oh,
Oh,
can you
no,
hear?
I don't.
I
No,
hear
I
you.
can hear you.
Oh, I
No,
can't. Is it just me?
it's just you. Did you go way too far?
Maybe.
I had to check my mute because I've been known
Okay.
to do that so I don't put too much sound.
No,
on.
no, I totally hear. I thought she saw this comment. I see Gina. Hey, Gina, and hey, everybody else that
Welcome, Michelle.
Yay! Hey, Michelle. Gina says, "Should we hear all of you?" Cheryl and I are trying to get this new thing when we're doing interviews where we listen through our AirPods so we don't get all that echo. But we have not perfected it. This was the closest we had come so far.
I think it sounds great. And I'm gonna let me see here. Wait a minute. Let's see. Now you guys are on the big screen. I wanted to get us how we were in the beginning, but I don't think I'm doing a very good job. Okay. Can everybody, you can see you ladies. I don't want anything of you to be cut off though. I just wanted to see if I might be able to make it look a little.
And here's the thing, I can go and change the size of us and where we are. That's what I did when we moved over here. I changed it just a little.
Okay.
Because she's always at the edge.
Comfortable and everything looks good, you know. I just wanted to make sure that you guys were on the larger screen since you're the stars of the show here. So
since we blabber.
I love it. And so the recipes and everything we can find, well, tell us about, like, if we go to your website, healthyslowcooking.com, is that where we can kind of stay up to date on everything, or is it better to just go to YouTube? Or is it better to go to everything?
See, and the more things there are, the harder it is. But YouTube is where you're really probably going to get more up to date information, whatever that means. Because we go live there several times a week. So we have a show where we talk about our experience with the starch solution. Sometimes, like tomorrow, Stacy Cross, our health specialist, is going to come on and answer. Support specialist. Can never get that right.
I called her something else earlier when I was trying to say I remember hearing about the starch solution. And I also saw you guys on Chef AJ with Dr. McDougall one time, I think, right?
Yeah. Yes, you did. So I have a monthly show on Chef AJ. So I'm the first Wednesday of the month. I don't know what I'm doing in December, but and I've been doing that for a year, about a year now. But usually, so there's lots of stuff going on at YouTube. Healthyslowcooking.com and plantbasedinstantpot.com are my two blogs. Plantbasedinstantpot.com is all Instant Pot. Healthy Slow Cooking is not. It is all the things. It is slow cooking, oven, stove, air fryer, all the things, all the things. And you can get recipes there. And also, I think it's even in your show notes where you can get the spice download, or if you just go to Healthy Slow Cooking, you can sign up for my mailing list and you'll get a printable of like 4 of my favorite spice blends, including Chef AJ's favorite, the barbecue seasoning blend. And then you get on my email list. And so, like, I emailed my list tonight going, hey, I'm going live tonight and tomorrow. So you'll get some little updates from there.
Oh, cool. Okay. And how did that come about? Like, okay, because I heard you talking about when you went vegan and everything. Like, when did this come into it with the starch solution? Like,
that's a great question. So Cheryl has had type 2 diabetes for a while and didn't really do much. She went vegan. So I had to slow my roll, basically. I was like, okay, we got that. At least that was Josh LaJohnny. And
I floated in and out of trying things before that. Yeah, but it never really stuck.
You went to Mastering Diabetes, a couple of their things, which they do whole food plant-based no oil as well. And probably the first time I was on Chef AJ's was probably like 2011 or 2012, back with that first cookbook. And because she has a little bit, whole food plant-based no oil is one thing. Then there's whole food plant-based SOS, which means no sugar, salt, or oil. And then there's Chef AJ's, which is SOFA's free, which is no sugar, flour, alcohol, oil, salt, avocado or seeds.
Avocado? Oh no.
And she's allergic to beans, just personally. She's allergic to beans. So she would come to me because I love being a mad scientist in the kitchen. And so she'd be like, you can't make me a ranch dressing. And I was like, watch me.
Nice.
Yeah. Which is also why I say you can't.
I love ranch. I've never had a good ranch that wasn't like a the only one was like a process. So I'd love to get that recipe.
Oh, sure. I use vegan yogurt for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So the only thing, are you all raw now?
I'm just like I'm high raw, so yeah, I can still have my cooked food, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so as long as because like with the milk, you have to heat it up a certain point, depending on yeah. So I usually use soy, but you can use anything that's in there. I think you might even be able to get some of the coconut yogurts that are considered raw. But the McDougall program.
I've tried vegan yogurt, so I've tried the vegan sour creams and stuff, so that's interesting. I'll have to check that out. So
There are less fillers and things in most vegan yogurts. So I make one with soybeans because that's the easiest one to make at home. It sets up really well. Or if you get a 2-ingredient store-bought soy milk, you can just mix it with a probiotic. But that creates that nice creaminess. But I made one for Chef AJ that used it. It's past my bedtime, y'all. That you use a roasted onion. So the roasted onion makes that thick, white, sweet base. And then we add a bunch of herbs, and then we add some onion powder and garlic powder to get those flavors back.
Nice. And then you're going to bottle it so that I can just order it delivered. Even if it shows up late, I'll be okay.
That is what Chef AJ wants.
Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't mean to cut you. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I was going to ask, is your ranch in the blog, she said.
It's almost there, but no, it's not there. I did do a recipe with it somewhere, and I do have the recipe. So if you want to,
I posted it in
our heartbeat group.
In the heartbeat group when somebody asked for it. I just took a picture of it from my phone, I think.
You can email support@healthyslowcooking.com and ask for it.
And the heartbeat, is that the group on? Is that a Facebook group?
No, it's actually a different platform. It's free. So if you guys want to join in, you can see, I talk about it a lot of places. I can't remember if I don't think I sent it into the notes I gave you. But again, want to be in the free heartbeat group? You can email us at support@healthyslowcooking.com and shoot you an invite link. There's probably a few hundred, maybe 300 or 400 people over there, maybe 5 now. But everybody's kind of being supportive. Not everybody is whole food, plant-based, no oil, but there's a lot of that. In my communities, I'm okay if it's someone who's not even vegetarian, as long as, we obviously only talk about vegan recipes there.
Yeah, I think that's really cool because that's how, like, I wasn't always, if you want to learn more about it, then that's how you can learn, basically, is being around those individuals
networking,
already practicing it. So yeah, if they're thinking about it, some people just haven't quite, figured out what I can eat. And that's what I think is so brilliant about what you guys do, because that's the hardest thing. You think, I'm not going to be able to eat anything good when you first hear the word vegan, and like you have proven, even without oil, like, and some people are like, oh, I could never, do without oil. Yeah. So I think that's when you were talking about, that's when you found the starch solution. So that's when things started to work out better, like, or that was more sustainable.
Well, for us, we had been eating vegan all along. Both of us, me since, she's been doing that since 2009 or so, vegan. She's always vegetarian. I was still a pretty heavy meat eater until 2019. I would eat at home whatever she cooked, because she told me very early on, I've never cooked meat, and it's not that I don't want to cook you something. It's just the fact that I could kill you because I don't know what I'm doing with it. So, I it was either I had to bring the stuff in and cook it myself, and that lasted 2 weeks with my George Foreman grill.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just tired
Because she
of
had
it
to cook.
so I was tired of it after that, and then so I would eat whatever she cooked, and then at work and stuff I would go out, or if I was out with friends, or if we went out to dinner, I'd get whatever I wanted to, and I would still eat meat and stuff. And then we were eating vegan. We thought we were eating, well, during the pandemic, we ate very badly.
And I gained 30 pounds over the pandemic.
It was just junk food
So
palooza, like, Soy Delicious ice cream bars and
God,
anything we could get, vegan junk
ice cream
food
sandwiches. Oh.
get delivered to the house, right?
Impossible Whopper meals.
Yeah, I
she
mean,
was way up on those. Yeah.
like at work, that was my go-to.
Leaning off of them.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what's very interesting as far as that goes? So, like, since I came from a different part than Cheryl did anyhow, is that the past, even before we were doing, I guess right around McDougall, once we started eating whole food, plant-based, no oil, when you had the chance to go out and get a Beyond Burger or something, and it's not this, doesn't have the same pull. Now, I want to be real clear because I don't like to talk about foods being good or bad. Like, that's not my thing. Like, I can tell you, if you're wanting to eat Dr. McDougall, he would rather you not eat Impossible Meat and Beyond Meat because it has oil in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, I think it's important for us to leave space for people to transition in a way that it works for them. Yes. And how it works for Cheryl may not be how it works for me or what I need.
And I ate a lot of Impossible Burgers and Beyond Burgers and Beyond Sausage and Tofurkey and, all those things because it gave me comfort to have that texture that I was expecting and things like that. So, then as time went on, then we got to earlier this year. This year has been kind of a stressful one. And
well, you were stressed because it was my health that was the issue, not yours.
Right. So then she started having some health issues with her liver numbers weren't looking good, and she had to have some tests and stuff like that. And then she had to have a biopsy and on her liver. And while she was in there, I was out in the lobby freaking out, right? And so, when she was also freaking out, but not
outwardly. What I do.
Not outwardly
I made
towards
friends
me.
with all the people there.
Yeah.
I won the Best Patient of the Day award.
I love
we were changing recipes. We were talking about stuff, but
she's not here pacing the floors. You're in here sharing recipes, right?
Right. Yeah.
That's how we get the same way too. When it's me, I'm like, I'm okay. And then, if it's your partner, you're like, okay, what's going on? So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, we talked about, she was like, I've got to do something because the liver guy that she was seeing, wanted her to go on Ozempic to lose weight.
Oh.
And I was already taking Ozempic and it made me miserable and I felt bad all the time from it. But I just kept taking it because that's what they're telling me I have to do, is take this stuff for my diabetes.
You're not one to go and question a lot of things.
I don't. And so I was just taking all the stuff and I was sick all the time. And then when they wanted to put her on it, she was like, I don't want to be sick all the time like that. So she was like, I can't
even be I take decongestants longer than the allergy season because I get so nauseous without them and I can't function. So I thought, okay, that's this much nausea compared to she was violently throwing up
on a daily basis, pretty much.
And so I was looking into a couple of different things that I could do because I was like, okay, because also when you have non-alcoholic fatty liver, my experience is they don't tell you much about it. They just say you have this and what this is. And so I was doing some more research and it's like, there is no medicine. Because I was like, okay, with this Ozempic, is that going to help my liver or is that just helping me lose weight? Right. So, and there was a study, one that said perhaps it could do something, but there were two others that said there was no difference. Because, and then I was like, okay, I lost some weight after the biopsy And then I was trying to decide which plan to go on to. And I talked to a really good friend who has also done McDougall. And from what I talked to her about, because there's a year's support and it's not cheap. So let's just get that. And there's also, and I can go and put this in the show in the comments when I take a breath next. But there's a free program. You can read all the stuff for free, right? And integrate it into your own life if you want to. So don't let cost be an obstacle. But I wanted to go. Obviously, I know all the stuff. I just wasn't doing it. So I wanted to go ahead and spend this 12 days in this intensive and see what came out of it. Also, Dr. McDougall and Dr. Lim are your doctors for life, meaning you are their patient. You have to pay to see them outside of it. So it's not like free doctor in for life. It's just, but I know someone that Dr. McDougall is talking to their other doctor about treatment plans and things like that. So and you got a year's worth with your support specialist with Stacy, and that's who's on our show tomorrow. And so that's a whole year, because I don't know about you guys, but we're real good about doing things for
30 days.
90 days. About 90 days, we can do anything. And then it's like, who's holding you accountable? The momentum wears down, your liver numbers get better. How do you decide to keep going on? So I thought it would be really good. And since Cheryl was so upset, I was like, so what usually I don't do this. I didn't make her go vegan, didn't make any of these other things.
But I was like, is it something we watch online? And she was like, yeah. And I said, well, I'm not paying for it then. I'll just sit there and watch it with you. Ain't no sense in both of us paying for it, right?
Right.
So because I get cheap on stuff like that. So I was like, I'm not.
And I was pretty much like, well, if you would like to stay living in this house, then you're going to watch every single thing and you're going to eat everything that I eat for these 12 days. I'm never like this,
no, she's never said that to me before, but this time she was like, well, you're doing it with me. And
no wiggle room. There was no wiggle room to be had.
And I said, that's fine. I'll do it with you. I just don't want to pay to do it.
And
wrap that whip.
Exactly. And so like the first night, like I made compliant, basically like air fried tofu and gravy with mashed potatoes and greens. Like I really made some like hearty, delicious food that all fit in. I mean, it depends on which window you're looking in, but to me, looking in the skylight, whole food plant-based no oil is not that hard. There's a lot harder. Doesn't mean you don't have a learning curve, but most things you can eat. So, and more than people think.
Yeah, I think when we look at our plate, like now that I look back on not being vegan, I'm like, a lot of the stuff I already ate was vegan. I'm just changing a couple of things out, which are really three major things that people tend to think are, because we're always taught you have to have your, the meat is like the center of the plate, so you're, and a lot of times we don't realize that we have so many other things to eat that we don't need to really worry on replacing, like, this is my meat, like
right.
When you really go whole food plant-based and you leave those transitional foods, you realize, oh, there's all these really cool tastes that I can have, like, oh, potatoes, beans. So can you tell us a little bit, because we were talking about this right before we go on. When I heard starch solution, I'm thinking I'm gonna have potatoes and corn. Like, I don't know why that just was in my head, like, before I actually listened and was educated on it. So, like, is it whole food plant-based no oil? Is there, but it's just okay to have more starchy vegetables than other plants, or is there like a general way to describe it in a sense? I know we don't have a whole show to do on it.
It's easy. It's easy, and I can do it pretty quick. So it is a whole food plant-based no oil diet. The reason it's called the starch solution is Dr. McDougall believes we are starch eaters, and he figured this diet out when he was working in Hawaii with people that were working in the fields who mostly ate a starch-based diet. And he was seeing some people who were starting to switch over to the American diet having more issues, and he got to see some older people who were doing just fine with some things like that. So the interesting thing with the starch solution is you should not eat less than 50% starch for your day. And in fact, it's closer to 70 to 75% starch.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and Apple, who was in here a little while ago, was losing some weight and had a plateau. And Stacy's the one who said, no, I eat 70 to 80% starch. And Apple switched and added more starch and got off the plateau. It's very
Interesting,
not
right?
totally
You would think it wouldn't go that
Well,
way.
'cause
Because you're always told that.
We're programmed and told constantly that, you know, if we eat potatoes, if we eat corn, if we eat pasta, if we eat lots of rice, we're going to get, like, you know,
But you
as
can
big as
even eat
barns
you can
because
eat
it's all
pasta
carbs, right?
on the starch solution.
Mm-hmm.
And they would prefer it to be whole grain, but you can eat white rice on the starch solution. So it's just about it being
sound like the JJ solution over here.
right?
Right? Can you guys hear this? You can eat starches. Like, I used to tell people that too. Like, like, especially when I was whole food plant-based, like potato was like a big thing for me. And I know they have vitamins. I'm like, usually it's all the stuff we're piling on the potato. That's the problem usually. And I think in the way we're eating it, you know, when you're eating regular sour cream and butter and all that stuff, it's probably what makes it bad, right?
Yeah, it's the add-ons that make it so bad.
Starch. So, and then the other, I guess, 20 to 30% is vegetables.
Yeah. He always says like green and yellow vegetables, but he just means non-starchy vegetables. And you can have
like
some
kales and collards and
I think the only
lettuce
other, you know, obviously no meat, fish, dairy, eggs, and no coconut, because coconut is such a high fat food. That is one that I feel like is a no. If you're looking to release weight or lose weight, people usually limit or eliminate nuts and seeds for a period of time. Avocado.
Limit the amount of tofu.
Because it's just a higher fat product. But I mean, I think I heard him banty about 10% of your diet from tofu. And I mean, that's all I want is a couple times a week. I'm good.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't feel like anything's ripped from my cold dead hands. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it sounds like very sustaining too, because I think a lot of people think, oh, when I go on a new life meal plan or a new, like, you know, diet, I'm going to be starving all the time. But it sounds like from what you're describing, these are foods that fill me up. So like I wouldn't be hungry. And like, what about fruits? Does that go in with that other 30%, or do you limit it?
Yeah, it goes in. The only time fruit is limited is if, like, maybe if you're having some blood sugar spikes or something like that, you might look at that. There is the maximum weight loss diet, which is, so there's the regular starch solution and the maximum weight loss diet and Mary's Mini, which are more limiting on purpose, but are not supposed to be lifetime diets or lifetime eating plans.
We use Mary's Mini kind of like a tool a little bit around here. So
Mary's Mini is where you pick one starch and you eat it every meal for 10 days. You can put vegetables with it. But so like you would pick sweet potatoes. You would pick, you know,
that's pretty cool.
Corn.
And it's what it's supposed to do is be more monotonous. So you stop eating out of this tastes good. You're just eating if you're hungry. But I will say this, this is the easiest thing about the starch solution, is Dr. McDougall will tell you, if you're hungry, eat. Period. Eat more starch. So like if you ate a giant potato piled with vegetables and you went back and sat and you were like, go eat some more potato. It's fine. And so when our first day,
that first night
we had oatmeal. So, and this is pretty much what we eat, oatmeal almost every day. And we ate a bowl because you eat a little bowl of oatmeal, and I don't know about y'all, but I'm hungry like 20 minutes later. I'm more hungry if I eat that little bowl of oatmeal than if I don't.
Yeah.
Anybody
that's
else?
why I
Gets the
don't
stomach
bother.
going. Like it's
Yep.
almost like
Yeah.
it's non.
You don't want to
right?
activate the ghrelin.
And the thing is we eat a giant bowl of oatmeal,
Yeah.
like that bowl, and it's full. So we ate 2 big bowls of oatmeal. We talked to Stacy every day for 12
We felt
days.
guilty and bad and like we did something
Like
wrong.
we've already messed up. We ate so much
The
food.
first day we've
Right.
already messed up. We've already messed up, and it's the first day, and we were so disappointed in ourselves because we ate 2 bowls of oatmeal at breakfast.
And Stacy was like, "Were you hungry?" Yes. Were you hungry after the second bowl? No. Then you did exactly what you were supposed
Wow.
to do.
That's great. And like, I was thinking of the different levels of life I've been through. And I'm like, it was funny when I was first raw, I came in and I was like, I really messed up today. I had 10 walnuts or whatever. And Don was laughing so hard at me, like, okay, like, what are you talking about? Like, okay, like,
Like I can't eat anything else today. I had like 5 walnuts. I'm like, are you serious?
3 full meals a day. Like, so I was a little bit too restrictive in those early days, I realized, but I think we evolve over,
Over time.
so Boomer and Beyond said she eats more starch now that she's working on building more muscle. It's excellent for satiety. Am I saying that wrong?
I hate saying that word too.
That word.
It's satiety. I always mess it up too.
Yes, it's good for staying full, man. Let's do it.
And-
Let's say it in the I'll say it in the
Right.
And potatoes make you feel more full than any other foods you can eat. And they have lots of vitamins, and they really get villainized out in the world. And I think that's kind of a cool thing. And I think what happens is people, they do the normal starch solution, and then they kind of go on and tweak it to fit their own needs, kind of like Angela or anybody else out there. And like we probably will as well. Like we do 90 to 95% McDougall. And what that means to us is that if we go to a bowl restaurant and there was a little bit of oil in that dressing that I picked, and I didn't bring my balsamic vinegar, that's okay. It's in my 90 to 95%. So I don't have to stress out. Also, if we want to have a piece of birthday cake, obviously our 90 to 95%, while it is not whole food, plant-based, no oil, it is always vegan. And usually it's whole food, plant-based. It probably just has a little bit of oil in there somewhere.
But we talked about it early on when we were doing it, and we were like, we didn't want this to be one of those things that always happens to us where we get gung-ho on it and we're good for 60 to 90 days. And then
it just fizzles.
Well, we screw up one time.
And then you're like, oh,
and then,
I'm mad.
And then we're like, okay, then we're just done because we messed up. And so let's just keep on this bad route because we're terrible and we can't do anything.
And that's one thing, the health, like Stacy helped us kind of prepare for, what happens when this. So like during those 12 days, we weren't going to do anything wrong. But then Wednesday night, it was very exciting. So I think
we got Wednesday night off.
So we're like, ooh, let's go to the grocery store and let's go do something else. It was so incredibly exciting after sitting there for like 12 hours a day on the couch. And I kind of looked to see if there was some place we could eat if there was an emergency. I think I brought an emergency date with me. But at the same time, my thyroid, we would find out, was too high. So when that happens, nobody's nice. But then it's like when you got to eat, or it feels like you're going to pass out.
Yeah. Wow.
And so I was there and I was like, well, at least I looked in this. So we went to P.F. Chang's and we got the Buddhist feast steamed with the sauce on the side. And we were feeling kind of guilty, you know, but I was like, I'm not passing out, so I'm pretty excited about this.
And we got food, and
we just got the Buddhist feast. One Buddhist feast. We didn't.
We got the lettuce wraps.
Yeah,
too.
we did get the lettuce wraps too, and then we just had them bring us an extra brown rice, and we just kind of shared everything, and
we told Stacy, because I will fess up in a hot minute about everything.
She'll throw me under the bus so quick.
Oh, we talked about that. You can say you're
what are wives for? What are wives for?
We go to the doctor together. Like we make our appointments next to each other so we can like totally rat each other out.
Rat each
Like,
other
she's
out.
gonna rat me out. I'm gonna rat her out too. So.
We have to sign all this weird paperwork to do it, but it works. It works. And Stacey was like, "That's great. You had a plan. You did this." Because like it, I think one of the things that I see when people are asking me questions a lot on my shows is that sometimes it's good to have these boundaries, but it's bad to make them so brittle that one thing can break them all down into a bazillion pieces.
Yeah.
Facts.
Makes sense. Because
Right?
you feel like, oh, I failed. I can do whatever I want now because that's over. Instead of just getting back,
Mhm.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean there. And it's like that, finding that balance, like, oh, it's not the end of the world because I, ate a, processed meal.
Or an olive.
Tomatoes, a couple of potatoes.
And
But
when you
everybody
said
has-
about a, emergency date, I had to laugh because I was like, I don't think she meant like that. She's talking about like, okay, Cheryl, if you mess up, I'm hungry,
Sorry.
I'm cranky.
You're out of here.
I've got an emergency date on the side.
I have a little packet and I open it
When I
up.
first
and I'm
heard it, I was like,
oh,
oh, a date. Okay.
such a little date.
Congratulations. Muriel said she started eating whole food, plant-based, and starch and lost 50 pounds.
Congratulations.
All right.
Good job.
Serenity said, I started in 2020 and have lost 212 pounds.
That's
fantastic.
amazing.
Woo!
That's crazy.
That's a
That
bell
is
on
awesome.
Mm.
Well,
That deserves a bow.
I've lost 30 pounds
All right.
More than 30
since
pounds.
July.
Since July, but you lost
Wow.
more before that.
Since
So you
July.
lost 40 pounds.
I probably lost
this year.
this all total this year. I've probably lost about 40 pounds.
Oh, that's wonderful.
How'd you lose that?
Starch solution.
Starch solution.
Starch solution.
But you
I
know, that's
really
the
just-
thing.
It was a setup. It was a setup.
Oh,
But-
okay. I'm like, sorry,
I'll
maybe
take it.
I'm starting to worry about you need to get off those Beyond burgers. You're starting to lose your memory or something.
You know, but like the thing is, like I always used to eat the Beyond Burger and the Impossible Whoppers and all that kind of stuff, and I really liked them. Like there's a Burger King on whichever way I go to the office. There's a Burger King on both roads, right? And so I used to go there a lot, and I have found that just kind of over time, the more I ate vegan, and the more I started eating other things vegan, the less I really wanted the Impossible Whopper or the Beyond Burger. I wanted like a really nice quinoa black bean burger.
Which
or
I'm making this face because you would not believe the amount of years I've tried to be making this happen. And that is another reason why I say to everyone, you can't make people do things. They have to do it in their own time. But I would be like, look, I've made these beautiful burgers from scratch for you. And you'd be like,
and if you
wow.
But the thing that like kind of like pushed me over the edge was like Dr. McDougall's his little lectures are like fascinating.
I love to hear him speak.
And like, you know, he does this one the first day of the starch solution that's called food poisoning. And it had the biggest impact on me because like over the years, there's things that I just knew in my head. And I would always like sometimes make comments about it like, well, we all weren't diabetics and having all these problems before 1979 kind of thing. And, you know, and I would make these comments and like, he's actually got the proof to show that, you know, it's the food that's the problem, but it's also the food that's the answer.
Mm-hmm.
So,
absolutely.
You know, it's just which end of that spectrum you're on. And if we're all on the bad end, we just have to strive to get to the good end. And everybody has a sweet spot that works for them. And I think we've kind of found ours.
Yeah.
For the most part, I think by giving us
pretty cool.
Giving us the allowance ourselves to have that one meal a week.
Yeah, we have certain foods that because we are still trying to release weight.
Mm-hmm.
So things with flour in them are more calorie dense. So the whole starch solution thing is and if you've seen Chef AJ stuff, she talks about calorie density. So that like, what is it? The calories in a pound of oil is like 4,000. The calories in a pound of broccoli is like 200. And so it's not that, of course, we know no one's going to eat a pound of oil, but it gives you a good example of just how many more calories. And cutting the oil out does cut out so many calories so easily.
She didn't even think, because she was eating pretty clean. She had started eating pretty darn clean in January before we even thought about doing the starch solution. So when she started looking into the starch solution and doing research about it, and she was like, well, I'm going to do this. Then she actually said to me, I really don't know how much of an impact it's going to make because we eat pretty clean anyway, but let's just see what happens.
Well, I wasn't expecting to lose any weight during the 12 days, and I lost 7.5 pounds.
Wow. That's so cool.
And it was crazy. Like, and I still think it was kind of, so
every time we'd get on the scale, like the next day, we would just both be like, what the heck?
What is happening here, right? Like,
I was eating more food than I had.
So broken. What's going on?
Exactly.
I mean, I was eating more food at each setting than I had in forever.
Like, we ate and ate. And even now, like, we went on a trip last month, and Cheryl's still kind of recovering from it because
it was rough.
We had planned some things, but some things got unplanned for us. Like, so we were at a conference for 3 days, so and it was packed. So we didn't even have time to go to the hotel room and heat up the food that we brought, kind of things.
Wow.
So that we had little, those little
hot dog trays.
Yeah, hot dog tray. That's the salad we had. That was our lunch. We'd have a little thing of oatmeal, and so
people don't understand. Like, if you eat like this, they really have no concept of how much we could actually eat at one setting, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, like, I should have took the serving bowl and left
people like a couple
little cups
leaves,
of salad, right? So
she came through. She was like, I was about to eat. She's like, you're gonna eat all that? Like, where did you put all that? I'm like, well, I don't. This is my first time eating today. Most people have ate 3 meals. I had like everything like all laid out. Like the whole table was like my food. I'm like, you can eat when you're eating like the right stuff. People don't realize you can eat until you're full. Like, they think you have to eat like a piece of lettuce or something.
Right.
But you guys are proving that you can even, eat, like we are all told not to eat starch, not to eat potatoes. And it's, obviously it's the other things we're eating that are causing us to gain weight. Now we know, not that, it's the oil and the.
Yeah, it's definitely the oil, because once we cut out the oil in the processed foods, I mean, it was just amazing the difference that made in for us in 12 days was just, I mean, and I couldn't deny
she got
the
off
fact
of most
right in front of my face.
You got off everything but insulin after 4 days on day 4, and so she had to join.
Really?
Yeah, she needed the doctor to look at her numbers.
Yeah, so
it went down so quickly.
We went for a hike with our friend, and my blood sugar got down in the like very low 60s. And before that, I had never had to worry about my blood sugar getting below like 120, right?
Really? Oh,
and
wow.
So I was just like blown away. And we were actually kind of like talking about how awesome it was that I had all these really great numbers, but I had all these really great numbers and I was taking lots of medicine still.
Right.
And I was getting dangerously low during the day if I did any kind of exercise at all or anything.
But it worked out really well. So she ended up joining.
Yeah. So we ended up like, send us a bill, let me join. And so I ended up on day 4 of the program. I officially
11 o'clock at night talking to Dr. Lim.
I was talking to Dr. Lim,
getting her intake,
and I was officially a full member of the cohort at that time. So
nice.
But we had to. I mean, like now, if anybody was to be like, "Oh, do you think I could just like sit with my spouse and do this?" and I'd be like, if you have any kind of health conditions at all that you take medicine for that could become problematic, you just need to go ahead and pay your money and just let them let them help you.
Because
The
I
issue-
assume medicine lowers the sugar is what
Yeah.
you're
Yes.
saying. So if
Yeah.
you're naturally lowering it, as I usually say, we're unclogging our drains in a sense where we're
Yeah.
getting to the root cause of it, then the medicine is going to be counterproductive at that point. It's like, oh, wait,
Yeah.
if I'm taking it too low, you know, you're doing this
Yeah.
on your own. So do you still take any of the medications?
I am still taking some insulin.
Mhm.
She was off of it all the way, and then she had
Yeah.
a really bad allergic reaction to some poison ivy because we were petting some goats.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she's had some issues with it since then. So
Mhm.
we're kind of working to get that. But she's highly allergic.
Yeah. I was.
And then she had to use a steroid topical cream.
They wouldn't even let
which
me.
makes your blood sugar go up.
They wouldn't even let me have the oral steroids because they said that it would be too dangerous for me with my diabetes to even give me the oral ones. So they gave me a topical, and that still spiked me really high. And that
Sorry to hear
that was like 2.5 weeks it took for that to start clearing up or something.
Yeah, no, it was bad. It looked horrible.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one out of all of us that didn't get poisoned.
I just don't know
with
how that's
ivy.
possible
I don't
because you were
either.
also the
I was
one that
all
was.
up in that.
Not to get it. What is it? You have to know how to make those quinoa burgers.
I don't know. I just
Yeah, we gotta
love
learn
the
that.
goats out of it.
We've got to learn that recipe.
But you know, I just I'm okay. Like everybody's like, oh, doesn't that upset you that you're still taking some insulin? And it's like, no, because I kind of use it as a tool now.
It does bother you a little bit that it's not.
It bothers
all
me that it
settled.
hasn't come back down to
But-
where it was.
But
is
it
what
will.
bothers me.
It's just
Yeah.
probably residual from that. But
And I
that's,
know that the more weight I lose, the more space I'm making in my cells for things to start working right. And so I've got a ways to go. And
Yeah, because we're at a start. We're not at
Yeah.
the finish for
Right.
sure. Though I kind of already met my most important goal, which was my liver numbers are normal again now.
that's
Oh,
excellent. I was
good.
gonna ask about
Yeah. So that was like a month later
Mhm.
that we got that.
yeah, we're still your thyroid may not be quite right yet still. So we don't know.
I think it is now.
Do you?
Yeah, because I've been cranky, but it's not the same
Okay.
kind of cranky.
it.
It's not over thyroided cranky, which is not a nice thing if you haven't
Mm-mm.
experienced that. Just think about when you were a kid and your hormones would just go crazy and you'd be a little cranky, a little irritating. Yeah. Thank you, body.
It is not. It is not attractive in a 58-year-old.
No, it's
You
not.
guys look so young.
I'm 58
Definitely.
and a half. I'm older than she is.
Wow,
Oh, wow, you guys look
guess
really
that.
good.
I
Yeah,
know.
you guys look really good.
I'm a baby. I'm 56.
You are.
Oh, you guys, I thought you were in your 40s, honestly.
Oh,
I did too.
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
we're old farts.
I'm just right under you. I'm 55.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'm
See, I would have thought you were in your 40s too.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah?
be 47 very
Awesome.
soon in January.
Ah, thank you.
Woo. Congratulations.
I was like,
We're
Dawn,
youngins.
where we first met, people were having her pull out her license because they didn't believe her age. I remember seeing them doing that. I was like, why is
That's
she showing
funny.
all those people her ID? I remember before we I'm like, what's going on here?
I was getting carded. I'm like, come on, dude. I'm like 40. You know, he's like, no way. And they would look at my license and look at me and look at my license and look at me, and it's like, yeah.
And I'm standing next to her 10 years younger and they're not carding me. I'm like, what is happening here? Really hair. I gotta get some hair dye or something, right? But it's really cool because, like, you know, I guess the more good stuff we put in our body, we're gonna continue to feel young, and you know, it'll help all the way around, help our skin and everything too, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Muriel said you all look so young, and Michelle was saying something earlier. Oh,
I'm sorry, guys. I'm starving. I'm leaning over eating
No,
some
go
dinner.
for it.
Oh,
for a
I tell
family
you what, if
size
we didn't
salad.
eat, I would be eating right now.
Yes.
I have no
Yes.
shame. I
I
eat
know
on
we're
camera.
probably running over, so you ladies just let me know. I'll try to wrap it up here in a few. I was just having so much fun talking.
No, it's
I know. It's
we're
awesome.
Keep
we
eating.
keep eating. Do what you want to do. We can keep talking. It's fine. We're
That's why I
on your
kept going off the
your
camera.
time.
I
More
wanted
minutes
to eat on
here, and
camera. I
then
kept taking it off
she's
the
gonna
camera.
eat all my potatoes before I
Oh,
get them.
that's awesome. Like literally, there are times when I have an interview guest on, I'm like, "Took, going over to you, eating my oatmeal at 1 o'clock in the afternoon because I didn't make it. I didn't make it to breakfast yet."
Yep.
Look,
So
I
you guys
cooked
aren't too far from us then,
potatoes
yeah?
in miso soup.
Oh,
Ooh.
Serenity,
It's
that's
really good.
miso. Oh, you got the miso
I
too.
got the little
Do
baby
you know how to
potatoes.
make
in there.
miso?
We love miso, and I love me some mini baby potatoes too.
They're
Oh,
good together. They're good together.
oh
I
Yeah.
feel like
yes.
I'm eating like greens and potatoes. You know how that
Yes.
tastes?
Oh
Yeah.
Where are you from
Oh.
originally? Are you from Florida?
No, New Jersey actually.
Okay, I wasn't
They're
expecting that answer for greens and potatoes.
You're in Maryland,
That's
right?
that's like the food we
We're
eat
in
in North
Maryland now.
Carolina.
Yeah.
They're in Maryland.
Okay,
So they're not
Oh, she
far
thought
from
we were in Florida.
Yeah.
I did.
Ah,
Well, we're on the East Coast, so we're near the beach. So maybe we mentioned the beach and you just thought Florida or something. Maybe
Yeah.
we want to be in Florida at some point.
with
I
thinking about
Angela.
moving down
I
there.
love fruit and all that stuff I see. Like I'm always jealous of all the good fruits. Seem like they're always in Florida. Like they show these things, and I'm like, I'm looking in my stores. I'm like, we have oranges, grapes, the normal things. They're getting these sapotes and
Ooh.
My
I've never-
parents live down there, so we go. We try to go a couple
Yeah.
times a year, sometimes more. But man, it just seems like it just gets hotter and hotter down there. Like it was
Mhm.
in the 80s today down there. Like,
Wow.
and I think the first time that we went down to Disney and to visit my parents, this was years and years ago. We had to buy sweatshirts
It was cold.
because it was colder than we had thought that it was going
But
to be.
that's because we've been together so long.
But then when we went last year,
weather has changed. That's how long we've been together.
but when we went last year around the same time period, and we went to Mickey's Not So Scary, and we were actually like too hot and didn't even stay the whole time because we just felt icky.
It's just very weird. I could do without all the weird weather. Like it's
Mhm.
even been a little hard here. It's probably been like because a couple of weeks it was like in the upper 70s, and then all of a sudden one day it drops 30 degrees.
It's so
Is that happening to
from
y'all
morning
too?
to evening. It
Yeah.
happens, we'll be like, oh look, it's nice and sunny and warm, and then that night it's
It'll
like
be like an
gotta
Indian
go
summer,
on.
and next thing you know, burr.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of invites here. There's let's see. Oh, Michelle said she's cold in Canada, and
That.
Serenity said when the government and weather changes, move to Florida. Right. So Boomer and Beyond Wellness, Angela said you can visit her in South Beach, and then you've got a invite from Daria. She said you could visit her in Daytona Beach. So
Oh,
look,
nice.
all these invites there. You guys got some places
I
you
think
can.
they're talking about you and your fruit
Yeah, you guys go
cravings.
down there and eat some fruit.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Maybe-
yeah, that
Good.
sounds
All right.
good.
We got to go eat some fruits. They're like, it's too hot there. Well, I think everybody that's in Florida says that to me a lot. They're like, you don't want to be here. It's too hot. And then people over here, while we're freezing up here in Maryland right now, we're like, I don't care. I just want it hot. I guess
There's
it's
people in the trading group that say it's like that in Texas too.
Mm.
Yeah. We have friends who just moved from Texas too. I think with the weather changing, it's even harder.
Well, one of my coworkers lives in Austin, and like every day, like the weather was perfect here to me, and then he'd come on and he'd be like, it's 96 again already, and it's not even in the afternoon yet, and just like he
Yeah.
was like, we're just not getting a break from this at all. And I think they finally got a break last week.
Yeah, there's a guy in my trading group that his AC just went down, so he had to have
Oh no.
AC. They're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of my
They're
other
not-
coworkers' parents lives in Texas, and I'm not exactly sure. I think they're outside of the Dallas area or something like that. But they were saying that it got so hot that their garage door melted.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
Oh,
And I'm
no.
like, wow. Like, I can't imagine it
That's hot.
being that hot.
You could just cook food right outside, right? Without
Right? Just throw it on the cement.
It's like, yeah, so hot you could fry egg on it. Well, probably.
Yep.
Right? We got
Yep.
Out in garage doors.
Mm-hmm.
you could
That's crazy to me.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
gonna go find one of Kathy's recipes. And
Who
wouldn't even have
needs
to
an
cook.
instant
I've
pot when
had
you've got
a
your
rough
deck?
time in the kitchen lately. I've melted 2 containers over the last
Yeah, she's been
month.
dangerous in the kitchen lately.
I forgot I had the one burner on and had turned it off, and then and it's like, this is why I told you I don't. That's why I'm watching you guys shows, so I can get some. I don't know if you're going to show me how not to burn things, but
I don't know that you can trust me for that.
Well,
but
if I can cook in the
Yeah.
kitchen, anybody can cook in the kitchen because, like,
you
I
made
don't-
dinner tonight. Why don't you
Look,
tell people what
when-
you made me tonight?
when I was younger, I used to cook all the time.
she
Like,
never cooks
I
here.
cooked all the time
But you cooked today.
when I was younger, and then I never had to cook because you were always cooking, and it was like your domain, and I wasn't going to be like getting in
That's
there
my
and
domain.
messing around, right? I know when to stay away, and so today she wasn't feeling real great, and she was doing a bunch of work outside. So there's a few things that we always try to have made, and we were out of rice, so I made our big batch of rice for the next couple days. So I make a big batch of brown rice in our, what do you call that thing? Vitaclay
Rice cooker.
cooker. It's just a rice
Oh,
cooker. So we
okay.
It's got the little clay thing in there,
Mhm.
and it makes the best rice.
Yeah, it makes really great
Really?
rice. It's
Oh,
really
we
good
gotta
rice.
look at that.
And so I do that. It's super easy. I throw, tonight I threw 4 cups of rice in there, and I put about 4.5 cups of water in there, turned it on, let it do its thing for like 20 something minutes.
An hour.
Oh, it's an hour in that one. That's right.
Yeah.
It seemed like 20 minutes, but it was an hour. And I put some corn on the cob in the Breville air fryer.
You guys have
Kinda.
all the cool stuff. Oh,
And just like put it in the air fryer to get it where it kind of like, gets
Usually
that kind
we
of like,
rub lime on it, and
Yeah.
if you're not salt free, we put a little bit of salt. So we'll rub lime and then salt and then put it in there.
Yeah.
And it's super.
and
On
it
the
kind of
corn?
tastes like it's grilled.
Oh, really? Oh, I
Yeah.
would love that.
Yeah. Sometimes if you leave it in there long enough, you get a little bit of
Caramelization.
caramelization on it in some spots and stuff, and it was really good. And then she had went to the farmer's market and got some black-eyed peas.
So like the fresh peas,
Fresh
and
black-eyed
they
peas.
cut up some
Right.
green beans in there. I mean, it was just this little bag, and it
Mhm.
was very expensive to me. But also, someone sat there and shelled those beans, so I will pay that money for it.
But they were
so good.
But they were the thing that took the longest to cook because I had to simmer those, and they took about 30 minutes. And so she put some of her bouillon in there, and I put some water in there, and then I put a little liquid smoke in there.
And
Yeah.
the bouillon, I don't know if you guys use bouillon or not, but I hate buying it because it's expensive and they put all kinds of weird stuff in there. And I literally take an onion and like cut it up, put it on the bottom of a slow cooker. You can do this in a Dutch oven. You can do it on top of the stove. You can do it in your Instant Pot. So but Instant Pot, you have to add some water. But in the slow cooker, I used to put like 1 giant onion, some carrots cut up, like 3, maybe like 3 or 4 things of celery, and a little bit of thyme. Let that cook, and then I puree it. I take the thyme stems out if they were fresh, and then I puree it with some nutritional yeast so you have salt-free bouillon. And I freeze it in ice cube trays.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Like the cubes that you buy, you actually make those. That's insane.
Yeah.
I never
And-
heard that.
It's so easy to
It's
do.
cheap. It's so easy. So like I just made like probably like 8 cups of it the
Mhm.
other day, and so it's all going to be in ice cube trays, and then I'll just pull a few out as I need them.
And once they're frozen, she takes them out of the ice cube trays and she puts them in little baggies in the freezer, in those little freezer baggies. So
Yeah.
she just has to go in there and pull out a couple and zip it back up, put it back in
Then
the
you have
freezer.
to pay $8 for whatever little packet.
And
like
you
this.
just pop the little block of ice in whatever you're cooking.
Mhm.
Yep.
Oh,
Nice.
goodness, that is
Yeah.
so creative.
And then
I
what
never
else did-
heard of that. And
Oh, and then I made green beans from a can.
That's our favorite.
That's my
Nice.
favorite, green beans from the can.
the like, what are they called? Like the certain cut, like, the French cut. Is that what they
Oh,
call it?
I like the French cut.
I
She
don't like
doesn't
the French cut so much. I get the regular old.
The solid ones, right?
Yeah.
And I'm
Okay.
like, this is the first time you've ever fed me like this multi-course sort of meal
That's
going
cool.
on. So
Look at
that was
that.
really
You got treated the other way.
Black
Right?
eyed peas and rice. That sounds so good right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
It does. You guys are making me
Right?
so hungry.
And then you had a little Tabasco on yours.
yeah, Texas
Texas
Pete.
Pete on yours.
Nice.
It's all
That sounds
yeah.
so good. So is there, like, do you do like coaching or instructional, or how would we, do we just watch the videos, read the blog? Like, how do we find you? I want to make sure I get this all in before, we all run to the kitchen and, oh, you guys are already in the kitchen. Okay.
Yeah, we live in the kitchen. Well, if you can usually if you get on my mailing list, you find out about all the things and any sales. I do Kathy's Cooking Club, where it's a membership, and you get 2 new cooking classes every month, and we film them live. But you can just watch the replays, and when you're in Kathy's Cooking Club, you get all the other recordings. So now it's like over 120 classes. So those classes are 2 to 3 hours long, and you get a PDF with each one.
It's usually anywhere from 5 to 7 recipes
It
on
depends.
average.
I try to average 4, but I get excited and then I add something else in. So it's a problem. I'm working on it.
Thank you. I'll say for everybody. Thank you.
But if you're in a position where you can't afford that, if you go, you can see all the stuff on YouTube as well. All that stuff's free. I run some sales. I have a sale on a bundle right now of classes. There are 5 classes that I either show you the slow cooker or the Instant Pot in the class, and the reverse you get the instructions for. So you get instructions for both for all the classes, and we're filming the 5th class next week. So if you get that bundle, you'll be able to come in and hang out in the live class and see if you like it. A lot of my people are super sweet.
Quite a few of them here today.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you everybody for joining in too. I want to just definitely say that is really cool. And healthyslowcooking.com, right?
Yep.
I love the name of that. Like, it just makes you want to look it up, right? What's going on?
Don't forget to smash the like button, everybody.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Share
definitely.
this so everyone can see these cool
Yeah.
ladies here and their
been
health journey,
fun.
and their vegan journey, and all this knowledge that you guys have. And I love watching, like I said, watching your YouTubes and your personalities just come through, and I love it.
Thank you.
I think that's what people
Yeah, you guys
love.
are amazing.
I'm like, I just came on.
We gotta hang out.
Yeah.
Y'all close.
Yeah.
We need to do
Look, we're
eat
right
something
next door.
yummy.
Oh, we wish we could just reach over and like,
Yeah.
We ate all the food, or we'd share.
Maybe we can meet halfway somewhere sometime.
I know you got some
Yeah,
oatmeal
sounds like a
over there. Come on. You wouldn't be one of those neighbors knocking on the door, right? Like, is Kathy cooking anything?
Well, the one thing I'm going to show this just because I just finally put it in the fridge. But this other thing I got at the farmer's market is crazy.
Oh, it's ridiculous, y'all.
And I've got plans for it. I just haven't gotten anything to do it yet. Look at this rutabaga.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow.
I've never actually
Make a roast out of
This
it.
is big as my head.
It's a rutabaga. Isn't that crazy?
I have never seen one that big. I've never even ate one. What is it? What does it taste like?
Ooh, I like rutabaga. So like,
I like the name. I want to just say it over and over. Rutabaga.
that's a good reason too.
I'm a rude bega.
It's milder than a turnip, but obviously has a little more flavor or different kind of flavor than a potato, but I just really like it. It's kind of yellow and it's yummy. I love turnip.
Cross between a turnip and a tomato, potato.
Kinda, yeah.
Sorta.
I think that's close enough. Yeah, they call it a Swede too, so I think they eat a lot of them in Sweden.
Oh, cool.
I didn't know
JC
that.
said you guys look amazing, so healthy.
Aw, you're so sweet.
Thank you. We feel actually like so much better now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Before the starch solution, I would do my classes and I'd be really worn out for the
Mhm.
rest of the weekend because kind of when I'm in it to win it 100%. I don't notice anything that I'm like, oh.
She'd get done and just like as soon as the camera would turn off, she'd just about collapse.
Oh my
So-
goodness.
Yeah. And so like even just eating a little bit better,
Mhm.
losing a little bit of weight made a giant difference as far as
Yeah.
all that goes. And so if anybody's looking to start, but you're just kind of nervous, it's not really hard to eat potatoes and vegetables.
Yeah, not at all.
And you can put sauces on, right? You can, like, if you guys are wanting a really good sauce to put on potato, I've got an oat queso that you can get over on Healthy Slow Cooking. Like, literally, it's oats, water, some spices. I do put a little lactic acid, which is vegan, and nutritional yeast to amp it up a little bit, and some jalapeno powder. But you can just make sauces from oats and water. You can make a creamy sauce.
Or if you're a plain person like I am, I usually just put some like spicy mustard on there. And
There we go.
That
and
sounds
just like chop
good.
up the potato a little bit, put the spicy mustard in, kind of mix it up. It kind of tastes like a little bit like potato salad. So it's
That's the cool thing about potatoes.
that's my
You can
thing.
do so much. She loves potato salad, and
Yeah.
she makes pretty good potato salad.
well, I think the starch solution might be made for you then, Dawn.
I'm a potato fanatic, so yeah, it
When
would
you
be.
were talking about the sustaining things for a long time, I think that's also like important to find something that makes sense, that doesn't feel like you're on a diet, you know, like, but you're still losing weight with it and things still taste good to you. So I think that is really, really cool. And
Like
then
I get excited every time that I go to the refrigerator. Like sometimes we don't eat together. Sometimes like she'll be like, "Well, I don't like at lunchtime, especially like she'll be like, I'm not really hungry. My oatmeal's holding me today." And then I'll be like, "Well, I'm gonna eat something." And I'll go to the refrigerator and I'll just pull out some rice, you know, and then just have some green beans. So, or I have my special, which Kathy refers to as the kids mix from Costco, which is just like, you know, the peas and the carrots and the corn all
And the little
frozen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Suck at
I'll go
that.
down to the freezer and get a cup of that, bring it up and heat it up in the microwave. And I'll just heat all that up in the microwave. And I'm perfectly content with that. Like, and
And you can eat as plain or as not plain as
and
you
that's,
want.
I think that's more me. I'm a little more plain. Like I can just eat a lot of plain things. Or Dawn, you like a little more flavor.
I gotta spice it up a little bit. Yeah.
But you can
I'm
take
with you,
the same
Dawn.
basic ingredients then. Like we'll have the same basic plate of rice and certain vegetables, but sometimes she'll like make some fancy sauce to put on hers, and I might just leave mine like it is, you know.
But a lot of
Yeah.
times, if I make
Little bit of sea salt and pepper. I'm good.
yeah,
And garlic powder.
it's whatever you're feeling is the thing.
Yeah.
And what I like about the starch solution is that you don't have to do it the way the person next to you is doing it. You do it how you do it and how it works for you.
Find your own sweet spot with it.
Yeah. But
Mine might be the miso soup with the potatoes.
Yep.
see, and that's perfectly fine. You'll hear some people who are SOS or don't eat any salt, sugar, or oil. And just be aware there are some SOS people who are in McDougall, but McDougall program, they say you can have salt and sugar to make your food palatable. And so, and then Dr. Greger's like super pro miso. Right?
Yeah. So Dr. McDougall's thing was, you know, they don't cook with salt at their house, but they'll add a little bit on when everything's done. They'll on their portion they'll add a little bit to make it palatable, you know, going down, which
And
makes
you probably
perfect sense
eat
to me.
less when you're eating a lot of like processed foods, you want more salt because it's like what you're
Yeah.
used to when you first go on something like this. That's what I noticed when I went whole food plant-based, and I got to a point where I'm like, wow, this really tastes good. Like
Yeah.
I don't almost need it, on it. So it's like your taste buds get used to like almost like I think I ate a chip one time and my mouth got so dry because like like by not eating a lot of salt and things, it's like your tastes really do change. So the fact that you said you got excited, see, I think that's what's missing with a lot of people sustaining things. Like I get excited every time we're about to eat, and people think you don't get excited about foods when you're doing something healthy. But I love that you guys are into it and feeling it, and
Well, I think part of it for me is I'm like, every time I get my plate and I fill it up with brown rice, which is like, I love rice. I've always loved rice. And I actually had a doctor in the past tell me that I shouldn't be eating rice. I couldn't have rice.
Because type 2 diabetic.
Because I'm a diabetic, and that's the worst thing that I could possibly
She
be
wanted
eating.
Cheryl to go paleo.
And
didn't go that route.
Yeah, meat and vegetables.
And so every time I have those things, and every time I'm having potatoes and I'm having corn, I'm having all these things, I just think to myself, I'm eating potatoes. Because I'm like, these people have told me
with potatoes. It's like that's
they've told me I can't have this, and now I'm just kind of like,
you were
I'm
wrong. Right.
Yeah.
You know what I really want to do, but this is a family show, so I'm not gonna.
Right. Yeah. I knew where I was waiting
You're
for
still.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, I guess it's like I'm eating all my favorite foods. Like every now and then I'll crave a burger. And we've got these burgers that we got turned on to by Mary McDougall, actually, called Actual Veggies is the brand.
Is the brand name.
Really?
Actual Veggies.
Yeah.
And there are a few different kinds. Yeah. And we've tried 2 of the different kinds, and Cheryl's real picky, but she loves the black bean burger.
Yeah, the black bean one is great. And
the orange one I thought was pretty tasty too. You didn't like it as much.
I didn't like that one as much, but the black bean burger, the one that comes like with the package with the black, that's the black bean and rice or quinoa.
They're all like the pink one, the black one, the orange one, or what is kind of their deal.
I'll toss it in the air fryer for longer than it says to cook it on the package until it gets a nice little crisp to it. So that when you have it, the texture's right.
And we get Ezekiel buns, and Ezekiel buns they're all vegan and they don't have oil in them.
And I'll just
love Ezekiel bread a lot. Cool.
I love that bread.
So I'll just toast up a Ezekiel bun and one of those, and put one of those in the air fryer. And sometimes she'll take a potato, like we always usually have potatoes cooked, and she'll cut it into wedges, and we'll toss that in the air fryer as well. And
so it's like a burger and fries.
Just like burger and fries, but it's just so much better for you.
Fries.
Yeah.
Cool.
See, that's my favorite meal. I'm like, I need to look.
You can do that, and I was surprised at how much I like those. But the trick is you gotta cook them longer than they say and get that little bit of like crunch to it, little crust on the outside so that they're not mushy.
Okay.
Because every time we tell someone, because they're like, "Oh, how'd you lose weight?" And we're like, "Oh, we went whole food, plant-based, no oil." And if they're in the vegan community, they're like, "Oh, that's really hard." And I'm like,
"It's not that hard."
And one of the things that we do in our 90 to 95% is every other week right now, a regular Indian restaurant has a vegan Indian buffet, and we've been going there as our treat. But I'm like, we need to support this.
We want to make sure that they can keep doing what they're doing.
But we also got some food from First Seed Foods that I found before. And on our way trip up there, literally in the car, I ordered this food because it was no oil Indian food. And I love Indian food. They even had a no salt option. When we were driving back, I saw Chef AJ sent out an email. Jill Dalton had sent out an email. I'd never heard about it. And we've been eating on that too. You know, obviously any kind of
We got
prepared
4
food,
meals out of that box.
It's not super cheap. However, it's a 1-person operation, and I thought it was really good. So if you're in a place where maybe you don't want to cook, you have options. If you're in a place where you don't have enough money to do anything but cook, you have options, right? And it's so much more than
say this is expensive. It's like, okay, beans, rice. That's like probably the cheapest things.
We eat that. The black bean
Potatoes.
burger. What brand is that?
Actual veggie or veggies.
Okay.
We got them
here. I'll see if I can find it. I'll put it in the.
We get them at
chat.
We got them at Sprouts one time. We also have seen them at Whole Foods, and we've seen them at what's that other that place like Whole Foods that's over by the
Trader Joe's
Fresh Market.
We've got we got a supersized package from Fresh Market.
I'm putting this in the chat.
It was like a freezer bag with like 6 or 8 in it.
It's the bulk version. So you're going to see $60 for veggie burgers, but it's a bunch of them. So, but that'll give you the
your
picture.
Health, everyone.
Yeah. No, you don't pay $60.
They want $14 for an Impossible Whopper meal. So,
right.
You know what I mean?
You didn't realize that, did you?
No.
Oh no, Dawn! You just you'll never have another one of those now.
Yeah.
The past 12 months, food has gotten so expensive. Just food in general. So like, that's one of the reasons I love to make spice blends and like vegan cheeses and things like that, because like when I'm making that queso, you could spend like $8 for some little store-bought queso, or like use a cup of oats and some water and some spices from your cabinet.
And most of the stuff, I guess that is the part that probably everybody, like when they say, oh, no oil is so hard, is because if you eat a lot of processed foods, if that's what the majority of the stuff that you're eating is, that you're buying from the grocery stores, the processed foods, you're going to have a hard time, because it is hard to find stuff without oil in it. Like stuff you wouldn't even think that should have oil in it has oil in it.
And a lot of breads
make things with it like that taste just as good without the oil, which is really why.
Yep.
It's good. You're actually teaching people how to save money and how to, make these things happen within their home. So that's what's really cool about it. So we don't have to go and find 20 other recipes and, mess them all up and then find that we didn't even like what they put in them anyway. You guys have already tested it, and and that's
and I'm picky.
Okay.
And that's the goal. If you go to healthyslowcooking.com, if you look up mixes, like I have like an oat parmesan, it's really just oats, parmesan and salt. But the thing is once you toast oats, smell them when you first put them in the pan, keep smelling them. They start smelling like toasted nuts. So the end product doesn't taste like, oh, I just grabbed a hand of rolled oats and some nutritional yeast together. But like I have like a gravy mix and all these other things that are super ridiculously easy to make. But once you have a jar of it, right, that's why we buy mixes, because we don't want to have to think about it. We just want to reach and get it.
That makes it easy to make good decisions too. Like how you were saying, you just had like the rice already made and things, because sometimes when you don't feel like cooking, that's when you can make that's when you're like, you know what, I'm just going to get Chinese, or whatever.
Yep.
And just make those decisions.
Oh yeah. Like that was my go-to all the time. Like, as soon as I found out Grubhub would deliver out here, like if she didn't feel like cooking, or if she was having a bad day or something, and it was always like, if Cheryl's cooking, that means something's being delivered, right? So we had a lot of Indian food delivered, Thai food delivered, Chinese food delivered.
There's a lot of vegan food you can get delivered, but if you just take a little bit of time, we try not to go out more than once a week. We try not to have bread at this moment more than once a week, because It's just higher calorie density.
Yeah.
That's all. There's nothing wrong with bread. And if you're not trying to lose or release any weight, you can eat mine.
Yeah, bread just, for some reason, bread and me, like if I have bread more than once a week, then I will just plateau from the bread. Like we have found that bread is my weak part.
But certain things like that, like, when we traveled the first time, we did have avocado toast a couple of times because it was the only option to us in the airports. So, but if you're not in a real serious way where you're following Dr. Esselstyn to not have a triple heart bypass, which if you are, then listen to him. I'm just a recipe developer. Don't listen to me, right? But most of us,
we definitely want to listen to you. We want to listen to you. Yeah.
Make it easy as you can.
Yeah.
And be kind. Be kind to yourself. And I say that a lot. So I think some people think that I'm actually kind to myself, which is not necessarily true. I always say, I say it to you guys because I'm trying to do it too. So we can all do this.
Right.
Together, right?
Yeah.
When you say it out loud.
To yourself as much as anyone else.
Exactly. And I think that's the thing about when you're trying to eat, to change what you're eating, when you're trying to do something a little bit better for yourself, to make yourself healthier. There can be some other things surrounding it, and just, take a deep breath, get in with a really good community of people. I feel like my community is awesome.
Yep.
There's so many awesome communities of vegan, plant-based, whole food, plant-based, no oil people.
And we're even going back out in our local community again, which we haven't done since the pandemic, really. And this has been the first, I guess, like 3 months or so that we've really been like making an effort to go out and see the community. A lot of people go to the vegan buffet. It's kind of like the meetup location. And then we are members of a Plant Pure pod that in Chapel Hill that we've been members of forever.
I don't know if you guys have a Plant Pure pod there. That's kind of the Campbell's.
Like Dr. Campbell stuff.
Yeah, I've heard of it, but we don't. We don't even have one fully vegan restaurant in our town where we are. Like, we can find vegan options. So maybe we need to start one, right?
There you go.
We need to start
they'll touch on some things on their menu, but as far as a dedicated vegan restaurant,
which I always hear there might be one maybe 40 minutes from here, but that's a long way. It would be nice to have something, closer. Within. So, but there's definitely, I've met such a wonderful community of people, like online in like groups, like you said. And I mean, like, some of my best friends are people that I know online, like that, that I've just met within the last 5 years. So it's really cool when you have those things in common, and there's a lot of core values that, that you share, and like what's important to you. Like, some people are like, health is not important to them. So you can't really have a conversation about, look what I found to replace this oil, right? So like, it's fun to be able to talk to people about that. Let's see here. Christina, welcome. She says hello. And Boomer said, bread, dried fruit, especially dates and mango flour, are all crack for me. I stay as far away from them as possible. Michelle, always be kind to yourself and forgive yourself on the days you give into a craving. That's true. Daria, thank you all for a great evening. She said, with the chat with lots of great ideas. You've definitely motivated me to stay on this healthy way of eating, and you should open one, no competition. That's right, Christina. I just need to do something first, if you haven't heard, right? Very, very, and I definitely appreciate all the time you ladies have spent with us this evening. I know it's probably, we all got it. Well, I know I do got to get up early and dawn, and I know you guys have things to do. I'm so thankful. I literally could stay on here like one of those kids talking. We pulled our first all night liver, like our computer tomorrow. Like,
Dawn's like, I'm feeling old now, if that's the kind of all-nighter we're doing.
Like, we're all looking like, no, that's not
I had to get up at 4 a.m. I'm like, I'm sitting up here like,
This has been
Oh,
regular
shoot.
for us, right? We don't even usually go this long on the live, so I definitely. But I guess just like in closing, is there anything like else that you want to tell us? Like anything, any like I don't know what else you would want to say, but like what is the overall message you want to give to everyone if there is one?
Let me go.
Huh?
You want me to go first?
Okay.
One of the things that I have found that has been the most helpful for me is having a mentality of if you're doing something like this and you have a day that you just, like you said, give into your cravings and stuff, you're not a loser. You haven't failed. Tomorrow's a whole new day and you just start again tomorrow.
Part of the
It's
it's
part
a
of the
process.
process.
It's not about perfection. And I just want to tell everybody, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's that you're trying to be a fruitarian, if you're trying to do the McDougall starch solution, if you're just trying to eat less meat this week, you totally have this. You can do this, and we're supporting you in it. And just know, even if you don't feel very supported and you're very nervous, it's still going to be okay. Really.
And you can always email us at support@healthyslowcooking.com. If you have any questions or just, have any comments, need a recipe, let us know.
Yeah, and thank you so much for having us on. It was such a pleasure to be invited to get to hang out with you guys.
I know. I felt like we were literally like hanging out. Like it was just a cool experience. So like after seeing you guys on YouTube, I'm like, oh, they're right here with us.
We'll have to do it again.
Definitely. I think we definitely should, because we've got probably lots more that we could even talk about. We just barely barely tapped the surface here, right? There was just so much. You guys are so interesting. I had like probably 100 questions, but and then what was I going to say? There was something. Oh, and then all of your links are going to be in the description. So if there's, anything else you want to add, I think Mona, wanted that to know where to find that ranch recipe. So I told her I'd
my
get
community. I'm going to tag her in that post.
Okay, good. And I'm going to join the community too. And Boomer and Beyond, thank you. She said you all work beautifully together, and this comes to me as no surprise. Well, thank you for bringing it all together. Christina said, I got real hungry yesterday. I bought bacon and didn't eat it. Congratulations for joining. Great information, she said. You guys are really a blessing and inspiring a lot of people, and you're giving us an alternative way.
That's not Christina from American Dream Trading, is it?
I'm
Did she say bacon?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's weird, because she mentioned that she wanted bacon and didn't eat it or something like that.
Oh, maybe
on the other channel.
Christina.
Oh, then maybe it is the same.
It might be the same, yeah.
It might be ironic that two people.
Oh, she said yes.
She said yes, it's the same one. Over, Christina. I really appreciate that. Oh man, it was such a nice turnout. I don't think I've ever felt thankful for all of you, because I don't think I've ever had that many people in the chat.
She crept up in here.
Oh man. My God. And it's an alternative solution that a lot of people, I don't think, as popular as the starch solution is, a lot of people don't know that like they can do it and how it works and how well it works, because look at the results you guys have gotten. So that's
that's my whole thing is no matter how hard I tried, I could not deny the results that I was seeing. So I'm sold.
Well, that's excellent. We will be.
I really am, because the past 4 years, it's so crazy too, because as much processed stuff as I have eaten, it still doesn't make me feel nearly like I did when I was actually eating like dairy or meat. You know what I mean? So, like I've been doing some bad stuff, like I've been making French toast with just egg and vegan butter. But even though that's bad for you technically, I'm doing
you gotta be where you are too. So I think, and it's hard. It's hard for me too. So know that it's hard for me too not to go. I think this way is the best way. So therefore, if I don't fit in that box, I'm going to kind of be like this at myself. But one thing we found out, because like when we were traveling, there were a couple of times we ate real non-compliant.
Oof.
Still vegan, but
Yeah.
still non-compliant.
But like, you
We
know,
were
with some
starving afterwards. So like we
Yeah.
did have like a veggie burger and fries one place.
It's
And
like,
we
yeah,
ate that. I'm like, oh, we're gonna be so full. Look
that
at
was
us being
actually
all
in
naughty.
Maryland. That was in
It
Maryland.
was in Maryland. It was
Oh,
at a
you
gas
didn't even come say
station.
hi. Look at that.
It was
It was
at
a gas
it
station.
was like
and they had
French
vegan
toast.
stuff. But the thing is that what we've noticed now is like when we go and we eat somewhere that has oil, we're actually less full and satisfied. And it's weird. I'm not saying it doesn't
But
taste
I love
delicious.
being able to eat a lot. And like when you're eating rice and beans and mushrooms and all kinds of stuff, or even like salad stuff, you can just eat and eat and eat until you're full. You know, it's true. You go get one little meal and I'm still like, you know, I would still be hungry after that. I guarantee it.
right.
So I would challenge you to challenge yourself in this. And it could be in the same day. You have your French toast that you're talking about, and then for lunch or dinner, you have like all the potato and vegetables or beans and rice that you can hold, and see if you feel any better, worse, different at all.
I got you. How about grapes? I completely switched it up. Right after the French toast, later on, I ate grapes for dinner.
Okay. Because your body was going, give me something with nutrients.
Something else. Plus,
Yeah.
grape
I
picks.
like
It's probably all that was in the fridge at the time, right?
Yeah. You know, I'm that all over the place with it. I'll eat grapes all day long and eat them for like 2 days straight, and then I'll feel like I want a Beyond Burger or something. It's like it's all hodgepodge, but it's
And I was like that for a long time, and eventually it settles down. I think doing that 12 days really
Just for the 12 days for 3
kind of
meals a day. And we ate 3 meals
program.
The starch McDougall starch solution. Oh, you know what? Here, and I'll go. Let me put the free.
She'll put the link in there.
The free link, because I had pulled it up somewhere, and I've got. Evidently, I just sing things when I can't find stuff either. I put the actual veggies in there.
There
we
it
go.
is.
And I'll put, this is the free info. No one's ever going to click this link because I put free info on it. But
you damn it.
She's going to take my credit card. No, I promise you I won't. And it literally is just a part on Dr. McDougall's website that you go through and you click through all the information. There's a list of what you can eat. A list, mostly. He's like, I'm not going into all the vegetables. Like it breaks it down pretty easy. Mm-hmm. And also, most libraries have the Starch Solution book. Sometimes they will even give some of the books away for free on the McDougall site a couple times a year, but you don't always know when that's going to happen.
Okay.
But, you know, if you want to make it easy, eat some oatmeal or grits in the morning. You can have grits, right? Have some potatoes. And then maybe have some rice and beans for dinner.
Yeah.
Potatoes.
Most mornings I have oatmeal with some brown sugar on it.
That's my favorite way to have oatmeal.
Mm-hmm. See, I got a sneak
brown sugar, like the Quaker.
She puts all that
mashed cooked sweet potato, pumpkin, my pumpkin spice seasoning.
Why you not see? That's just
too delicious and it's good for you. Orange is a good color. Orange is for go.
She wants to put orange and chocolate, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not a big orange and chocolate.
Orange and brown work.
That might
orange and chocolate. Chocolate covered oranges.
Orange peel, chocolate covered orange peel.
No,
so good.
No. I'm a chocolate purist.
And so, but the thing is for a long time I was gluten free as well, and the only gluten free vegan option is Ever chocolate. That's it. There's no choice. So I'm like
Ever chocolate. It's called Ever chocolate.
No, it's always it'll be chocolate cake, chocolate this, chocolate, chocolate, double chocolate muffin, chocolate on chocolate, dipped in chocolate. And like I'm just like
the word
fruit. Give me some fruit in there.
Chocolate and the free coloring book. Is there a Oh, that is so funny. And
Well, we need to let you guys get to bed.
Yeah.
so
It
we're
has
like
been-
swaying, right?
And I
Like,
have
I'm
at
like,
4 in the morning.
I know. I'm feeling bad for you.
Oh,
now,
my
I
God.
Donna.
know I'm feeling bad for her, but I'm gonna be waking up probably too, and then I'm gonna go ahead and sleep
Oh, she's
again.
gonna get you up. You're gonna be making somebody some breakfast. I think is what's gonna
She
happen.
knows I can't even open my eyes before
Yeah, I'm
bed.
starting to
Barely.
wind
Say,
down
I'll
now.
say
I'm
good
gonna be like,
morning, have a good day.
Oh,
as soon as this is over, I'll
Oh,
probably
see,
be
now we're all gonna start
Well,
yawning.
it'll
Starting
be.
to yawn. You know,
But it was a
I didn't mean
pleasure.
to
We
do
got.
it.
I
We
read
gotta
that
hang
because
out.
we're
Yeah,
all
we
trying
definitely
get
have to
the
hang
same
out.
oxygen. We're
Definitely
stealing
do.
each other's yawns.
Yep.
I started it.
You did.
Oh,
Thank
fake yawn.
Oh,
You guys have really been a blessing. Thank you for being here. We are really happy that you joined us, and come anytime. Anytime we'll be in touch on email. So hopefully
That
maybe you can
sounds
set
great.
something else up.
Should do a revolving show.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
totally hang out.
Totally. The hangout, right?
Yeah.
Catch you down.
That'll be cool.
That sounds cool.
We could do that on my channel. Oh my God, on my channel too, right? We could go back and forth.
You
There
gotta
you
send
go.
me your channel.
I'm not gonna steal
info.
your guest, huh?
You guys send me your
Okay,
channel info on
You've
the,
got
on
all
the
your
down
people in
low.
my chat, so I steal your people. We'll steal each other's. That way, everybody can get more
Share.
notoriety, right? That's what
Yeah.
it's all about. Just so we can let more people know the good
Yep.
news and the good things that can come from eating healthy, and that it doesn't
Yep.
have to be difficult, and it can work for you. You know, it's like
Yep.
I think people don't do what they don't like they feel confused about. You know, so it's like if we can make it easy and give good stories and good results, then that's what it's all about. So thank you, ladies. I'm rambling.
I do that as I get tired. That's why I usually don't go live at night because I'll just go.
Oh, really? You hang up. You hang up first. You hang up.
You hang up.
You on this one. All right, bye, you guys. Everybody have a wonderful night and
You
have
too.
a wonderful day tomorrow.
Thank you so much for having us, and we'll get together again soon.
Sounds like a plan.
Go to the
All right.
description and get all Kathy's links, all her books, all her blogs, all her groups, and go on YouTube. And I'll see you guys in her comments.
All right. See
Bye.
ya.
Thank you, guys.
Jen,
Bye.
are you ending it or?
Yes, I'll end it. Sorry.
You hang up.
You guys does it. You guys made me do it.